Welcome to the next lecture. We will continue our discussion on AWGN channel. Let me recall what is our channel model. So our channel model is we have a transmitter, okay, which transmits. We are using suppose here digital modulation. So we represent the symbol by x of k. Okay, let me again repeat what k means. Actually, you have some analog source, suppose x of t, and you are sampling it, right? You are taking samples of this analog signal, and these discrete time index is denoted by k. Okay, so that is what it means. And at the receiver there is some noise. I will represent it like this. That noise gets added up. We represent that noise by n of k. Again, since we are sampling everything, so we are sampling noise also, and what we get at receiver is the output y of k. So this is our channel model. Y of k is equal to x of k plus n of k. Okay, so actually what was transmitted, so we first I'll start with BPSK. So BPSK, the waveform is something like this. If you take root of 2p divided by t cos of 2 pi fct plus minus. So if it is suppose you are transmitting binary 1, you will transmit plus of this signal, and if it is binary 0, you are transmitting the minus. So what we do is, if we take this 2 by t cos of 2 pi fct, I think we have done this in our communication course, but I will repeat it here. You take this signal, it is defined for 0 less than equal to t less than equal to some capital T. Okay, if you integrate it and take square of this and dt, just do this small exercise at your places and verify that it is equal to 1. What is this? I have taken square of a signal and integrated. It is actually power of the signal, right? So power of this signal, or it is also proportional to the energy of signal, is 1. So we call it unit normalized signal. And if now you multiply this, now you represent this whole thing by phi. Suppose you represent this by some small phi of t. Okay, so you can then represent BPSK signal as root p phi of t for binary 1 minus root p phi of t for binary 0. Okay, you can also verify that if you take suppose this root p phi of t, and you take its energy or power, so you will find root p phi of t square dt from 0 to t. So root p is a constant, root p square is p, that comes outside 0 to t, phi square t dt. Now what is phi? Phi is just this part, 2 by root 2 by t cos of 2 pi fct, and as I told that you just verify its integral is 1, so this is power is p. Okay, so that is the reason we represent at the baseband. Baseband means before we are transmitting the signal by antenna. So baseband also means something like this. So the pulse coded modulator output is 0 or 1. So 0 will be represented by a pulse, rectangular pulse with minus root p amplitude. This is 0, and 1 will be represented by binary this pulse with amplitude root p. So in baseband, at baseband level, we can say that BPSK symbol can take value either minus root p or root p. Okay, depending upon whether we are transmitting 0 or 1. This is our input. Now we have to find that if the noise n of t, n of k here, this noise has a distribution. We have given the justification by central limit theorem why we assume that this has a distribution of Gaussian distribution. Okay, it has a Gaussian distribution. Now what is our goal? Our goal is we want to design a receiver which will receive y of k and optimally give a decision whether the transmitter has transmitted 0 or 1. Why is this goal difficult? Because there is a noise. For example, as an example, let's take a noiseless system. Suppose there is no noise, so y of k is directly equal to x of k. Okay, so the system will be very simple here. You know that if it is if x of k is plus root p, then it is binary 1. If it is minus root p, then it is binary 0. So we can design a very simple receiver which will just check the sign. You see, whenever it is positive it is 1, whenever it is negative it is 0. So you can see that receiver has to make a decision like this, that if y of k is greater than 0, decide that binary 1 was transmitted. If it is less than 0, then decide binary 0 was transmitted. Now let's take now the noisy case, x of k plus n of k. Now the things are complicated. So it's not a straightforward decision as it looks like. But here is one surprising result I will tell you beforehand, that Gaussian noise is such a beautiful noise in one sense that you will see that the same decision rule will be derived. That is, we can use the same receiver as we used for without noise to arrive at the conclusion whether 0 was transmitted or 1 was transmitted. We will see that. But here is now what is given to us. Now what do we know about the noise? We know its distribution. So n of k is a Gaussian noise, and its distribution will be something like this: 1 over under root 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus n square by 2i sigma square. So this has mean 0, variance sigma square. That is what we assume about this. You may ask that why don't we assume some mean? Basically, mean is a constant thing, and we can always subtract that on the both sides. Okay, so mean is just a shifting parameter. The main characteristic of a noise is the variance. Suppose if variance is very low, then you will see that distribution looks like this. If variance is very high, distribution looks like this. So it is a variance which tells us about the variability in a particular random variable. Okay, now this is the information given to us. The other information is that x of k can take value plus minus root p depending upon whether you are transmitting 1 or 0. Now given y of k, we have to decide what was transmitted. So we are given a random variable now. This n of k is random variable. X of k is also random variable. How? Basically, probability that x of k is root p. Probability that 1 will be transmitted, that will be some probability, but we assume here that is same as probability that x of k is minus root p, and that will be equal to half. So at the transmitter, the bits are being emitted or transmitted with equal probability. Okay, suppose it means like this: if you watch 1000 bits continuously at the transmitter, so on an average 500 will be ones, 500 will be zeros. Okay, not exactly 500, maybe suppose 498 or ones and 502 or zeros, something like that, but it will be more or less. We assume this equally likely case. Okay, we can also do where the probability of ones and zeros are different, but that is not helpful right now. So this is one thing. So x of k is also a random variable, but it takes constant values, either plus root p or minus root p. N of k is a Gaussian random variable, Gaussian noise. So y of k is also a random variable. Correct? So we will be dealing with now distributions. So only probability distributions are at our hand to make a decision. Now here is what I can write about decision. So let me see. When should I decide that 0 was transmitted or 1 was transmitted? So of course the only way to do this is like this. I will ask this question, that what is the probability that 1 was transmitted given the signal y of t or y of k, sorry. So I am observing y of k. If this probability is greater than the probability that 0 was transmitted given the receiving signal y of k, then I will decide that 1 was transmitted. This is my notation. And if this probability is less than if probability of 1 was transmitted given y of k is less than probability of 0 was transmitted given y of k, then I will decide 0. So this is my notation, okay? So let me take first greater than case. That is, I will simplify. I will just take one case. I want to decide about 1. So probability that 1 was transmitted given y of k, if that is greater than probability that 0 was transmitted given y of k. So as it looks clearly that this type of probability computation is not easy. Okay, in fact, I can rewrite this as, when will be the 1 transmitted? Transmission of 1 is equivalent to saying that x of k is plus root p. You all agree with this, right? Given y of k, if this is greater than probability, when will be 0 transmitted? When x of k is equal to minus root p, right? Given y of k. Now this probability, it's quite difficult to to compute. So here comes to our rescue one important rule, which is called Bayes rule. Again, you must have done that in your probability course. I have shared the videos of probability theory lecture of my own course. You can again attend that. I will here briefly recap what is Bayes rule. Suppose there are two events, A and B. There are two events, and let's say that one event is difficult to be estimated, or the probability of one event is difficult to be computed. Let's say that A is such an event. A is difficult to compute. Now I have to compute this probability of A given B. This I need to compute. Okay, and let's suppose that this is difficult to compute. I will give an example. Suppose there is a building, okay, and there is an event that building develops cracks. Okay, this is an event, and there can be several causes for this. One cause can be earthquake. Okay, the other cause can be there is some work going nearby. Okay, some construction work. Or unfortunately there can be some bomb blast near the building, and several other reasons can be there. Okay, now if I ask this thing that, suppose given the earthquake has occurred, and I will tell you to find the probability that there is a crack, you can sense that this probability is easy to compute, because we know earthquake has occurred, so there are higher chances of getting cracks. But now imagine this event. Suppose you are given that there is a crack in the building, and you are asked to find the probability that there was an earthquake. This is difficult. Why? Because the crack can have several other reasons. So it is not easy to find this probability. That is what I want to say. Similarly, transmitter transmitted 0 or 1. Receiver receives y of k. You are asking, what is the probability that 1 was transmitted given y of k? So y of k is full of noise, right? Noise has corrupted the signal. So y of k could have been resulted from 0 or 1. This is completely uncertain. You can't compute this probability easily. Whereas if someone tells you probability that given 1 was transmitted, what is the probability that y of k has some value, then this is a little bit easy, because you know for sure 1 was transmitted. You know distribution of noise, so you can compute this. So this is what I want to say. This is the conditional probability. Some conditional probabilities are difficult to compute or even impossible. Some are easy to compute. So Bayes rule provides for a way to convert difficult probabilities in terms of easy probabilities. Now let's see one thing. How do you define conditional probability? Suppose probability of A given B. This is defined as probability of joint occurrence of A and B divided by probability of B. You might have done this. This is the definition of conditional probability. Also, if you define probability of B given A, that is defined as probability that A and B occur jointly divided by probability of A. So if you see these two equations, you can write probability of A intersection B, that is A and B occur jointly, as probability of A given B, also as probability of B, probability of A given B, right? So these are two ways. Now you see we have here one conditional probability here, one conditional probability here. One of them suppose is difficult. Let's assume probability of A given B is difficult to compute. Oh, I have made mistake. So it is probability of B given A here. B given A. Okay. So what you can do is now you can express probability of A given B as probability of A, probability of B given A divided by probability of B. So this is the Bayes rule, nothing else. You might have done very difficult form of Bayes rule. Don't get confused with that. It is very simple rule. It expresses one conditional probability in terms of other conditional probability, and in real practice one conditional probability sometimes is easy, the other is difficult, so we can compute one and then with that we can compute the other one also. Now in terms of random variables, you can write, suppose x and y are two random variables. Probability of x given y will be probability of x, probability of y given x divided by probability of y. Okay, so this is how we can deal with it. Then if it is continuous case, then this will be the PDFs. If it is discrete case, this will be the probability mass function. Okay, that follows. Now coming back to our old discussion that I want to compute this, right? And this is difficult to compute. So what I will do is I will use Bayes rule. Let me call this as, suppose, A, this as B. Okay. Now I have probability A given B, right? Now this I can express as probability using Bayes rule. I am using this formula, probability of A times probability of B given A divided by probability of B, right? So probability of A is simply probability that x is equal to plus root P. Probability of B given A is simply probability y of k given x is equal to root P divided by probability of B is simply probability of yk. Okay. Now we just now told that probability of x, whether it is 0 or 1 or same, half. So probability of x equal to plus root P will be half, and probability of y given x equal to root P. So let's keep it like this. We will deal with it in the next step, and divided by probability of y of k. This is actually the probability density function of y of k. Keep this also like this. Okay, this is the left hand side, and similarly for right hand side, come here back. This is the rule, probability of x is equal to minus root P. Now you take this as A and this as B. Okay, so you can follow the same rules. Probability of A given B is equal to probability of B given A times probability of A divided by probability of B. I have used again the Bayes rule. Again, probability of A is probability of x of t is equal to minus root P times probability of y of k given x is minus root P divided by probability of y of k. So probability of x equal to minus root P is again half. So you know the right hand side will also become half probability of y of k given x is equal to minus root P divided by probability of y of k. Now what is the decision rule then? So we decide that one was transferred if the probability of x is equal to root P given y is greater than probability of x equal to minus root P given yk. Then using Bayes rule, we get this. Now see, half and half cancel. Probability of yk, its PDF is same. That will also not enter into the decision rule. So what is the decision rule? That we decide in favor of 1 if this is our so-called decision rule. Now we can't still get anything from this. We need to get some expression which will allow us to decide. So we will now come to the system model. Y of k is x of k plus n of k. Okay, sorry, this is x of k. I should not miss the index. Okay, now See this y of k given x of k is root p. When x of k will be root p, y of k will become, it becomes root p plus n of k, right? Okay. Now you see, y of k is a random variable, n of k is Gaussian random variable. The difference is that it is added by root p, constant term, whenever x is root p. So what is the mean of y of k? Okay, so this constant remains as it is plus mean of n of k, and you know that we are assuming Gaussian noise has zero mean, so it will be root p. Root p is the mean of y of k. What will be the variance of y of k? You know variance is expected value of y of k minus mean of y of k square, right? So that will become expected value of root p plus n of k minus root p square. So this will be expected value of n square of k, and expected value of n square of k is sigma square. Why it is sigma square? Because of variance of noise. Variance of noise is expected value of n of k minus mean of noise. Mean of noise is 0, so that's square. So expected value of n square of k is sigma square, because variance is sigma square. Okay, so now y of k will also be Gaussian random variable. Why? Because we are just adding a constant to Gaussian random variable. So y of k is a Gaussian random variable with mean root p, variance sigma square, when x of k is assumed to be equal to root p. Similarly, when x of k will be assumed to be minus root p, so y of k, you can work out this, will be Gaussian variable with mean minus root p, sigma square variance. So this decision rule, this you can write actually PDF of y of k under the condition that x of k is root p. This also you can write PDF of y of k under the condition that x of k is minus root p. You can write PDF. See, first you have to write PDF of this. What is PDF of this? Gaussian random variable under root of 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus y of k minus mean is root p square divided by 2i sigma square. When this PDF is greater than 1 over under root of 2 pi sigma square e to the power minus y of k plus root p, because its mean is minus root p divided by 2i sigma square. When this PDF is greater than the other PDF, we decide that 1 was transmitted. Okay, and if it is less than, we will decide that 0 was transmitted. Okay, now here also you can see this constant term gets cancelled out. You can take log on the both sides. What will you get? Log natural. So you will get minus y of k minus root p square. If it is greater than, minus y of k plus root p square, then you decide 1. If it is less than, you decide 0, right? Now you multiply minus on the both sides. So what will happen is, if you have minus 1 is greater than minus 2, if you multiply minus on the minus 1 both sides, you will get 1 is less than 2, right? So inequality gets reversed. So if I multiply minus 1, I will get y of k minus root p square. If it is less than y of k plus root p square, then I decide in favor of 1. Okay, and if it is greater than, I will decide in favor of 0. You see this, I multiplied minus 1, inequality got reversed. Okay, now here one mistake some people can make is they will say, okay, square root lenge dono sides से square root cancel, then they will get mess up. It is not correct to take square root and then cancel terms, because square root of x square is mod of x, it is not x. Now instead we will expand the square, so we get y of k square plus p minus 2 root p y of k if it is less than y of k square plus p plus 2 root p y of k. We decide in favor of 1, and if it is greater than, we decide in favor of 0. Okay, so y square is common, P and P is common, what you will get is, I will add this minus 2 root P y of k on both sides, so I will get 0 here, 0 here. If it is less than 2 and 2 becomes 4 root P y of k, I decide in favor of 1. If it is greater than, I decide in favor of 0. Again, I can reverse the inequality. I will get 4 root P y of k. If it is greater than 0, then decide 1. If it is less than 0, then decide 0. You see, 4 is always greater than 0. Root P is also greater than 0. So that will not enter into decision. The sign of this quantity depends only on y of k. So decision rule is y of k. If it is greater than 0, decide 1. Y of k, if it is less than 0, then decide 0 was transmitted. This is amazing result. I will take you back to the noiseless case. See this amazing result. When I took the example of noiseless case, there we directly got the result that we will just check the sign of y of k. If it is greater than 0, we will decide 1. If it is less than 0, we will decide 0. And the Gaussian noise is such a symmetric noise and has such a property that the same decision rule is for the signal curved by the Gaussian noise. This is very beautiful result. It tells you that receiver has to do just one thing. Receiver has to get the baseband form of y of k and just check this sign. So you have a threshold circuit. Okay, using op amps you can easily design it, which will just check whether the signal is positive or negative. If it is positive, you decide binary 1 was transmitted. If it is negative, you decide binary 0 was transmitted. Now I will end it here. This particular result will now enable us to compute something called bit error rate or probability of error. See, the thing is, noise can be such a bad sometimes that actually 1 was transmitted, but at the receiver it appears 0 was transmitted. 1 was transmitted and y of k is less than 0, or 0 was transmitted and y of k is greater than 0. So we'll compute what is the probability of such an error and how can we decrease those probability of errors. That we will do in the next subsequent video. Thank you.